So this episode of Fast Food with Chef John is going to be a little different. I'm not going to do a traditional interview today. I'm going to talk to you about how to reach your fitness goals, and more specifically, how I lost 25 pounds over the past year. So you definitely want to stay tuned for the full interview. Let's get it.
Real talk, real taste, come on. Briefcase, Mike and April. We're cooking up life, so let's move on.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you guys how I lost 25 pounds, right, over the course of a year. And I don't really like those videos that's long and drawn out and they're trying to make you stick around and get to it. So I'm going to just tell my story and I'm going to get straight to the point, right? So my journey was crazy because, like, I had gotten big. Like, I've been an athlete my whole life. I played almost every sport you can think of coming up, and always been active, always been in shape, went to the National Guard, was ripped up, cut up when I left up out of there. Always been, in pretty decent shape. But, as I started my business as a chef, catering and doing, different things and just working and grinding and building my media company and things like that, I really just started focusing on work. And, I've always been a people person, trying to make sure people were happy and things like that. So the stress that people bring you, the stress from just working, trying to put things together, trying to be there for people, it got taxing. And I was not working out. I was not going to the gym. Stress can put weight on you. I was eating whatever I wanted, which I still eat whatever I want, and I'll get to that later. But it was just a journey, you know what I'm saying? And so, I looked up one day and, like, I would go to my uncle's house. He would be like, "Man, you fat, ain't you? You roly-poly," like, just talking about me. And somebody one day called me Rick Ross. I said, this is no offense to Rick Ross, you live how you want to live. This ain't got nothing to do with that. But it's just like, I was like, maybe it's time for a change, right? So I just started going back to the gym, right? And I had a goal. My goal was, I just want to look and feel the best I can, right? You know what I'm saying? I want to look good. I want to feel good. That was my goal, right? And so that takes me into what I'm actually going to talk to you guys about today. How I lost the 25 pounds, right? So the first step I'm going to tell you, when you start going back to the gym, when you start working out, is to have a goal, right? For instance, like I said, my goal was, I want to look good. I want to feel good. That was my goal. Now, your goal might be you want to lose weight. Your goal might be you want to gain weight. Your goal might be you want to get bigger thighs. Your goal might be you want to get a bigger chest. Your goal might be you just want to maintain your weight. Whatever your goal is, that's fine. It's up to you, right? But that was my goal. I just want to look and feel good. I wasn't even trying to lose weight per se. I actually like being bigger. Like, I actually like being like 185. That's where I was at. I was at 185. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm down to 160. 160, it fluctuates from 160 to 165 depending on the weeks or whatever. And I'll get into that later and why it fluctuates and stuff as well. But that's basically what it was. And then second thing is you need to have a plan, right? Once you have a goal, you need to have a plan to reach that goal, right? You can't I see so many people at the gym just go to the gym and work out, and then they leave the gym, they eat whatever they want. They have no plan, right? And they're wondering, they're like, I'm going to the gym every day, but I'm not getting any results because you don't have a plan, right? You're just going and doing stuff. The workouts I see people doing, I'm like, why are they doing that? You know what I mean? Like, if you're bigger and you're trying to lose weight, you need to have a plan on actually losing weight. Like, you can't just come in and just do weird exercises in the gym and think that's going to pay off. You know what I'm saying? I see people that's not going hard enough. I see people that's going too hard for whatever they're trying to do. I see people that's using trainers that don't even look like they want to look. Like, why are you using a trainer that looks terrible? You know what I mean? Like, so you got to have your goal, right? And then you have your plan. Your plan feeds your goal, right? That's how that works. For instance, for me, like I said, my goal was to look and feel good, right? So I watched videos, and I'll shout out the people that I watched, because to have a plan and to execute that plan, you have to have some knowledge, right? And there's no excuse in 2025. There's too many tools. You got AI, you got Chat GPT, you got Gemini, you got YouTube, you got all these different avenues to learn. You got Google, you know what I'm saying? To learn about how to do what you're trying to accomplish, right? And so what I did was I started watching different stuff. One of the big ones for me was Gravity Transformation on YouTube. Go check them out. They give you really good information, and they break it down as science-based, which I like. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to know what I'm doing. I like to know what the fuels as a chef. I like to know what the foods I'm putting into my body are doing for me. And so this is a big thing for me. So, and we do offer meal prep. That's one thing that we can do to help you in your journey, your fitness journey, and your life journey. Because to me, this is just all about life. This is just not about trying to, do nothing special or anything or whatever. This is just like, your life. You know what I'm saying? So, and fitness is a part of your life. So as a chef, you know what I'm saying, I like to know what foods is doing what to my body and how it's affecting me and when should I eat what and all that. So Gravity Transformation was big for me in that. And then Josh Bailey, I like how he showed me different exercises to do for different body parts, right? Because for me looking good, I don't do lower body, right? Because I have injuries from when I was playing sports and stuff, and my legs can't take certain exercises. Like I try to do them and it's just not going to work for me. And I don't care, because who's looking at my legs anyway? You know what I'm saying? Like if my lady looking at my legs and me and her cool, she cool with it, I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? But, he gives you exercises for shoulders, for chest, for back. You know what I'm saying? If you look at Muscle Monsters, that's another good one. They tell you, like, they kind of rank exercises. So you'll know, like, if I want my biceps to be a certain way, if I want my triceps to be a certain way, so I need to do, these type of exercises. So you go, you get the information and you craft your plan, right? Plan feeds your goal. And then the third thing is your diet. That's very, very important. As a chef, that's the most important part to me. And I'll tell you why. Because when I was going through my transformation, unknowingly, right? I just looked up one day and I had lost 25 pounds. I didn't even think about it. Like I wasn't like, my goal wasn't to lose weight. It was just to look good and feel good. But when I was going through my transformation, and I didn't diet, that's the thing I wanted to get back to, right? I didn't diet. Like I still ate whatever I want. I still eat whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? I do drink some alcohol whenever, the time permits. I eat pizza, I eat burgers, I eat fries. Like I eat, I don't eat a lot of sweets anyway. I never really did. Even when I was big, I wasn't eating sweets, but that's not really my thing. But my point is I didn't go on a diet. I didn't do keto. I didn't do, anything like that. I just ate nutritious meals, and I'll get into more of that in a second. But the point I'm making is your lifestyle is a part of your diet, right? So it's about the lifestyle. It's not just necessarily just like the diet, right? So like I said, I did the research. I got the information. Okay. Before I work out, this is what I need to eat. I need to eat protein and some carbohydrates. The carbohydrates is going to fuel my workout, right? The protein is going to help my muscle protein synthesis kick in, as soon as my workout ends. And, after my workout, I don't have to get protein in me as fast as possible. And that's another thing I wanted to point out was, like I said, I didn't go on a diet. And also, I didn't like do any supplemental stuff, like not a lot, right? Like I didn't really take protein shakes or creatine or everything that I've done over the last year has been from just food and exercise. That's it. That's it. Just food and exercise. You know what I'm saying? Like I might have had 4 protein shakes in the last year. Nothing wrong with a protein shake, but I just like to do everything natural. Like no supplements, no creatine, no none of that. It's just been food and exercise, right? And so you can do the same thing. You can do everything natural. Now, if you want to get big, ripped, that's a different plan, right? Your plan might be different from mine, but I'm just telling you what I did, right? And so going back into diet, so we talked about pre-workout, right? Now let's talk about post-workout, right? After your workout, you need to get some protein in your system immediately, right? If you want to replace those glycogen stores that you lost during your workout, you know what I'm saying? You need to have some carbohydrates. anything else is really not necessary. But you learn that when you do the research, right? You want to make sure that you are, eating what's fueling your body, right? Like you don't want to do things that's detrimental to your health. Like you see, like I said, so many times you see so many people go and work out and do everything, but you never see no results from them. They still look the same or worse because they're not doing the right diet to go along with the exercise, right? So that's a big part of it. And then one of the last things I want to get to, I don't want to make this video long because I don't like long videos when people are trying to tell me what to do. I just like you to get to the point and let me know what I want to do, right? So the caloric deficit, that's bigger than almost anything you can do if you're trying to lose weight, right? If you're trying to lose weight, if your goal is to lose weight and you've crafted a plan to lose weight, the first thing you're going to find out is you need to be in a caloric deficit, meaning that you need to burn more calories than you're consuming, right? And so that's where meal prep and stuff like that comes into play. That's where understanding what you're putting in your body comes into play. Because at the end of the day, you want to think about it from this standpoint. And as a chef, this is why this is important to me, right? Because we do meal prep and this is the part that we can really, really help you with. We can help you put together other plans and stuff like that. And we can talk about that kind of stuff. I'm not a fitness person. I'm not a fitness advisor. So I don't want to coach nobody or anything like that. But I can help you put together a fitness or a diet plan and a meal prep plan that will work for you. And you can just hit us up at Chef John at MillersCateringCLT.com and we can talk about that, do a consultation with you. But the thing is you want to be in a caloric deficit. It kind of does. And this is why I said I hadn't been on a diet. I said I was going to get back to that, right? This is why I said I haven't been on a diet because it kind of doesn't matter what you eat. People have all these myths out here. I can't eat carbs. Like I said, I didn't do keto. I didn't do no dandelion tea. I didn't do no intermittent fasting. I didn't do none of that. You know what I'm saying? But what I kind of live in a deficit, right? Because now before I was working out, I wasn't. That was the thing. Because I wasn't working out, so I wasn't burning as many calories. And that's why I was gaining so much weight because I was probably in a caloric surplus because I'm eating, drinking, and not working out. Then when I started working out and I started doing my research, what should I be eating to go with my workouts? Now I was like, okay, I'm eating lean proteins. I'm eating rice and potatoes and different carbohydrates to fuel my workouts. I'm eating them at the right time. So I'm burning calories. I'm burning off what I'm eating. So it's not what I eat per se, but I mean, it is what I eat, but it's not like going on a diet. Like I can't have stuff, right? Like I still ate pizza, burgers, whatever I wanted to eat basically. But I just make sure that I don't overeat. I don't do a ton of snacking. I don't do a ton of things that going to add calories that I don't need, right? I don't eat when I'm not hungry. You know what I'm saying? So the key has been in the caloric deficit if you want to lose weight. And like I said, I kind of live in a deficit, but that's my lifestyle. Like I eat good, healthy proteins, good carbohydrates, vegetables on almost every meal. For breakfast, it's a little bit different because I really don't do like huge breakfast. I just do whatever I need for pre-workout, which normally is like yogurt and granola or yogurt and a banana or yogurt and some dark chocolate or something like that just to fuel my workout. It's not even a lot. It's just to get some protein and get some carbohydrates in my system to fuel my workout so I'm not famished during my workout. It's hard for me to work out fasted. You know what I'm saying? People do that, and that's cool if you can do that because that's less calories that you're going to get on the front end, but it's just hard for me to do that. So that's what I normally have for breakfast. Then I'll come back after my workout. I'll eat some type of protein, whether it's eggs, fish, chicken, turkey, whatever it is, and some type of carbohydrate, whether it's like a whole grain bread or even a regular bread, really, or tortilla wrap or rice or potatoes, any type of carbohydrate like that. That's like a real carbohydrate. And then I might have like a vegetable with it. I might not. I might just have the protein and the carbohydrate because that's all I need really to fuel the workout for my plan, right? Goes back to step number 2. You got to have your plan, right? And so then for dinner, I'll eat whatever I want. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if it's pizza, burger, but it's going to have protein, right? Because that's the main thing. You want to have protein. And then it's going to have some type of carbohydrate and probably a vegetable. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't have to be perfect. You know what I mean? I'm not eating pizza every day, but if I have pizza once a week, twice a week, burger, I eat whatever I want. If you watch the channel, you see I eat whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not lying, right? So, but for me, it's just a lifestyle. And then after that, that's it. You know what I'm saying? I'll have some tart cherry juice. I'll show you the brand on another video. There's a juice I really, really like that has like pomegranate, tart cherry, carrot, blueberry. It's very good. And it's supposed to help you sleep and help you recover. So to me, this is a food video, right? I know some of y'all be like, eat and drink TV, why y'all talking about fitness? Because the diet is the biggest part of the plan, right? Whatever you eat and put in your body. And that's the last thing I'm gonna mention, right? Because I want to say this because this is important. Don't take this the wrong way. When I say you can eat whatever you want, if you stay in a caloric deficit, that's true. But think about what you're putting in your body, because if you're putting a bunch of junk in your body, there's other problems with that, right? Like you're talking about cancer, you're talking about diseases, you're talking about diabetes, you're talking about, so you can be in a caloric deficit and be losing weight. That would be great, right? That's good. You're still going to lose weight if you're in a caloric deficit, but what you're putting in your body fuels your body. So other problems can arise from just putting junk on top of junk in your body. So you don't want to do that. I'm just saying there's nothing wrong if you have a bag of chips. There's nothing wrong if you have French fries. There's nothing wrong if, you don't have to feel like, oh, I'm cheating. You just got to make sure that you're counting your calories. You're tracking them. Now, I don't track my calories. I don't count my calories because, like I said, I don't overeat. I don't really snack. So if I just eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner like I normally do, I'm never really going to go over on my calories. So I'm kind of always in a deficit. And if it's a day where I do go over, I really don't care because I don't mind bulking either. Like I'm not going to get to a big body fat percentage. That's crazy because I'm working out, I'm eating properly. And if I want to snack, if I want to eat some chips, if I want to eat some fries, I just eat it but I'm not doing that on a regular basis, right? So you're going to see videos on the channel where I'm eating whatever I want because I can do that. And you can do it too if you live a lifestyle, but it goes back to your plan. If your plan doesn't support that, then that's one thing. But I have naturally lost 25 pounds over a year's time. I feel good. I look good. And I'm accomplishing my goal, but that's a daily process because 2 or 3 months of, not following the plan and I can be right back where I was at. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I wanted to say. That's wanted to tell y'all how I lost 25 pounds in a year's time. So remember that number one, you need to have a goal, whatever your goal is. Number two, you need to create a plan. There are so many ways to do that. You got ChatGPT, you got Google, you got YouTube, you got all these different avenues to help you do that, right? And then number three, you want to create a diet plan that matches your plan, right? Because the diet is the most important thing, being in a caloric deficit if you want to lose weight. And then number four, make it a lifestyle, right? Like my stuff now is such a habit that it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to count calories and things like that because like if I have a day where I'm over and I get a little bit bigger, that's cool. If I have a day when I'm under and I'm cutting, that's cool because I like where I'm at and it's not going to go haywire because I'm maintaining my workout status and I'm keeping a correct balanced diet, right? And that doesn't include being on a diet. It just means I eat whatever I want, but it just means you ain't going to see me going crazy. You ain't going to see me overeating and doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff, right? So I hope this video helped you. If you have any questions, if you need meal prep, make sure you reach out to us at millerscateringclt.com. This your boy, Chef John, and I'll holler back at y'all. Peace.
Food with Chef John. Real talk, real taste. Come on. Briefcase, mic, and apron. We're cooking up life, so let's move on.